speaking of being thankful, we begin this hour with a simple question. What are you grateful for? It's a question that's being answered daily in journals placed across the country, from coffee shops to classrooms. Anyone can write or read the entries. It all comes from the mind of a man who's on his own journey to find gratitude. Through his work, he's made it possible for many others to do the same. Lead national correspondent David Begnaud met the young man, inspired by his mother to find passion and purpose in the tiniest moments of life.
In coffee shops around the country, you might want to look out for a little book titled, "Today I Am Grateful For." It's there so that people in search of a latte can also search their souls and write a few words about what they are grateful for. Astoria Coffee in New York City was the first place the book showed up.
And it's so simple. It's just a few minutes every day.
Teddy Droseros, who for 10 years has written down what he is grateful for every day.
Thankful for the amazing dinner I had with my brother.
Put the book in the coffee shop with the permission of the owner.
So Astoria, you drop it off, and then do you keep going back to the coffee shop every day?
Yeah, I check up on it and write myself. And
what was it like seeing people sitting there writing in it?
Well, that's always an awesome experience, because people would just take it and bring it to their seat and just read through it.
So explain to me what the gratitude journal was going to be.
I was just like, oh, this is just a tool that I can leave around everywhere to inspire people to practice gratitude.
It didn't take long before the book filled up, and so another one was left there.
I'm thankful for my pup, my health, friends, and fam. I'm grateful for living room dance parties and non-sexual intimacy.
I love it. I love it.
And at Bird Rock Coffee in San Diego, California, he put out more books after he moved there.
So then, how many coffee shops did you end up giving books to around the country?
I actually don't know. My friends would help me out. When they were traveling, they would get books out there, and then I started getting random emails from strangers saying, hey, I saw this in this coffee shop. Can we bring it to my neighborhood?
He calls his project Grateful Peoples, and a lot of that gratitude comes right back to him after the books are all filled up.
How many of them came back?
At least 100, I would say.
So when you got your first book back and you went through it, how was that?
I noticed that when I would feel down, I would go pick up one of the filled up books I collected. It would instant make me feel better.
Teddy Droseros, by his own admission, was not always a grateful person, and thinks about that when he comes here, where he watched his mother's ashes flow into the Pacific Ocean.
What did she have?
She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was a baby, but eventually passed from cancer.
His mother's illness robbed him of a normal childhood, and it left him bitter, he says.
My experience with her and her sickness, MS impacts the brain and changes behavior and personality, and it was difficult. It was kind of hard to be grateful for it at the time, and the thing with why I became so passionate about gratitude and started Grateful Peoples is because the more time I took to write in this journal, I realized that everything I was experiencing with my mom was seriously my biggest blessing I'll probably ever have.
Do you have your first entry?
Yeah. February 29th, 2012. I'm thankful I was born healthy into a great family with all limbs and able to do everything I was able to as a child. Playing all those sports growing up was a blessing.
If you need a fresh journal...
Now schools have teamed up with Grateful Peoples because Teddy Droseros has distributed 20,000 books to school children.
I'm grateful for my father.
I am grateful for how education changed how I spoke and how I wrote.
I'm grateful for my little brother doing good in school.
It turns out that gratitude can foster more gratitude, and people actually want to read about it.
So you ended up writing a book, and the book was written with the entries of all kinds of people.
Yeah, it was just
Right.
like a collection of gratitude thoughts.
And what'd you call the book?
Today I'm grateful for.
And how many entries?
About 1,000.
Did you read every one of those in the book?
So I collected 75,000 entries, and I read through every single one, which was a blessing because it was just like 75,000 bits of perspective.
Somewhere in those 75,000 entries was one that said Deanna, and today remains part of the legacy of Deanna Mondello, a dancer who died too young at 28 years old in a car crash.
When someone passes, you want to collect everything and every memory and everything that they touched and wrote.
Jen Freeman, a fellow dancer, was among the people who knew that a gratitude book at that Astoria coffee shop held a link to her friend Deanna.
So I went to the coffee shop and I asked who was responsible for these journals, and they put me in touch with Teddy.
Did Deanna seem to you to be a person of gratitude?
Yes, and that is what is really beautiful and sort of serendipitous about this whole connection coming together. Hearing about Deanna was sort of a catalyst for him to actually embark on this journey of creating this book. It makes so much sense to me because that was the way she lived her life. Like, she always was expressing her gratitude.
And Teddy's own mother, just before she died, wrote on July 11th, 2019.
She wrote, "I'm grateful to be alive." Just knowing where my mom was when she wrote that, the fact that she was able to just think and feel that way is special to me, and that's why I love this journal, and I'll have it with me forever. I got a piece of my mom here.
It's been 5 years since Teddy Droseros first left that gratitude book at that New York City coffee shop. He's still writing in them, a new one these days, and more often than not, about his mother.
The more you lose, the more I gain. As your illness took away the simple things, it made me realize how lucky I am to have them. I'm not sure I'd understand how lucky I am to tie my own shoes if I didn't have to tie yours when you couldn't do it anymore. But gratitude taught me it only makes sense to love something I can't change. It's the inspiration behind everything I do.
I just had a big aha moment. Gratitude taught me to love something I cannot change.
Yeah, that's what gratitude does. It allows you to shift your perspective of what already is. Like, I can't change that my mom was sick, but I can look at it as a blessing, or I can look at it as something dark. But my relationship with her is the best it's ever been. It really is.
Even though she's long gone, it continues?
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm more connected to her now than I ever was.
Boy, David, Teddy, thank you. A lot of lessons there. I'm so touched by him. Despite his pain and his bitterness that he said, he still finds reasons to be grateful. I think that's a lesson for all of us. It's the smallest things that make a difference in your life. Stuff you take for granted that you don't focus on.
You know, I said to him, what do you take away from reading all 75,000 entries in those books? And he said one thing, that people who go through pain almost always emerge with some degree of gratitude.
Yeah, you know, they always say you have to go through pain to experience joy, but sometimes when you're going through the pain, it's very, very difficult to understand how joy can come out or how you can come out on the other side.
Yeah. You know who goes through pain in this world? Every single person in it.
Exactly.
You're so right, Tony.
Yeah.
And reading what others
nobody's immune.
And reading what others are thankful for allows you to have, like he said, perspective on your own world.
Yeah.
David, you did it once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You bet, my
Thank you.
friend.